Good evening, everyone. This is Lyrata Barrett for the Institute for Global Transformation, continuing our conversation on mental polarity, the shift from the emotional to the mental that humanity at large is going through, regardless of what it looks like. Okay? Let me step back and remind us where we were in our last session. We talked about, and I'll read a quote that I gave you in the last session. It is a truth that cause originates in the inner world of thought, and effect is the manifestation of that thought in form. Every situation is an effect of a state of consciousness, and to change that situation successfully, we must work with consciousness, which is its cause. I said that comes from Lucille Cederkrantz's book, Nature of the Soul. And all that I am bringing to you in these sessions is also basically coming from another book by the same author, Lucille Cederkrantz, called Corrective or Creative Thinking. We also said last time that if you want to understand cause, simply look at what's happening in your life around you. Look at the experiences you're having. Look at the people you're attracting. Look at all that's occurring. And when we look at that, we can go back and find the original intent or cause that created it. We also said that as we know, we haven't been taught this before. Okay? They don't teach this necessarily in school. They don't teach it at all. And we are now arriving at a period in our world where humanity has evolved to the extent where these teachings that have heretofore been hidden, also known as occult, are now able to come forward because mankind is now ready for this. And that's the reason why mankind is shifting from an emotional polarity into a mental polarity, also because we are moving from the 6th ray into the 7th ray and from the Piscean age into the Aquarian age. Aquarian age will speak of a time where humanity will be mental, period. Okay? Not to say that emotions won't exist, but we'll understand what the emotions are really for and how to utilize them better, rather than spewing and spilling and creating chaos. Okay? We'll know how to put the cart before the horse, so to speak. And we also said the mental plane is causative, which is what I've been saying all along through all of these statements. The mental plane is causative to the physical plane. We said that the person who is mentally polarized does not base their life on the word if. They become causative. They know that and understand become to understand, become aware of the fact that we are creative beings, gifted in the image of our Creator, also to be able to create. It is a birthright of humanity. We are creative beings. We do it all the time. But now, to be able to move from the Piscean age with greater consciousness as we move into the Aquarian age, we've earned it, we've evolved thus far. To then, instead of allowing things to happen to us happenstance, to become causative to our world, our environment, so that what we know or need to happen manifests. We call it in, we intend it, we intention it, okay? And we learn the rules. So here in this lesson, we'll be talking about a few of the rules, the laws that apply. The mentally polarized person creates the conditions and circumstances necessary to work out their plans and purposes by manipulating cause itself. And once done, they manifest these once intended, once intentioned, once the laws are obeyed, then the experiences that we're calling in can manifest emotionally, mentally, emotionally, and physically in our world. Okay. So that kind of brings us up to date with where we are now. This time, we will be talking about energy and thought. So, the dictum is that energy follows thought. Correct? We've heard that before. But here we begin to understand why. And as a result, what to do. So as we seek to become masters of our form nature, which is what we're all working toward, certain principles need to be understood. First, that energy does follow thought. Thought comes first. The energy follows. Thought wills the energy to happen that the thought held. Most of us have a hard time understanding that truth. You know, energy follows thought. And we'll begin to break it down into some of its components. Here are some of the reasons behind this truth. We're often so unaware that it's a two-step, really a three. Everything that is anything is a trinity. Okay? Thought, intention, manifestation. So again, I go back to the teachings from earlier lessons that we're not separate from each other. Everything that is happening around us is connected. We are interconnected beings. Our thoughts are interconnected. Our emotions, or the emotional field is interconnected, thought field interconnected. We can pick up on each other's thoughts and feelings, okay? We share in that mental and emotional environment. I just watched the football World Cup final this morning, and you could feel much of the entire world just completely wrapped up in this final match between France and Argentina. It was exhilarating. It was powerful. It was an epic performance between the two teams and one of the best I've seen in a while. But it was that shared exaltation, that shared excitement, that shared passion um, for whatever team one was rooting for. Okay. And at the same time, the shared disappointment when that team that you were rooting for may not have won. We're interconnected beings. Our thoughts affect not only our etheric body, but our physical body, and they affect each other. Okay. They affect a city, a nation, a country, a world. And it's why it's so important for us to be able to think clearly and to learn critical thinking so that we are not swayed by those forces that seek to control humanity like sheep. That we're able to see behind the motivations and the direction that politicians or a government or whatever is seeking to direct the minds of their collective in how to think, what to think, okay? We have to be careful of the pill we decide we're going to swallow. But let's just say the basic scaffolding is that we gather an energy or an intent. And then we focus the will on that intention in the heart of mind. And then again, there's always a trinity. We distribute that energy or that focus through a process of visualization or a pictorial process through certain centers of the body. So our thoughts are the cause behind all of our experiences in the outer world. Before an experience happens, somewhere, somehow, in some way, we created that thought within our being. That thought is a precursor to the outer experience. Our thoughts are responsible for the life that we see outpictured around us. Punto. Our experiences are the direct effect of our thoughts. There are three unknown laws, generally, behind the fact that energy follows thought. First law is called the law of polarity. The law of polarity, which states that when the mind and the will are brought together into relationship, a magnetic field is built up. And the creative process then begins to happen. That's an important one. The law of polarity. When the will and the mind are brought together through a focus, it creates a magnetic field between them that begins the creative process. The second law is called the law of magnetic control. And this law banks on that first law. When the will and the mind are brought together, in steady focus, and that will and mind are held in that magnetic energy, they're held there, not only be able to create the magnetic field, but if held over any length of time, the will then impresses mental substance. And an activity begins. Okay? When will impresses mental substance, it creates not only a magnetic field, but it creates a reaction above and beyond the magnetic field. Not only does it create the reaction, but the reaction that happens is according to the intention of the will itself. Will directed upon mental substance, whatever that intention is, then begins to according to that will, begins to happen. Okay? That's the law of magnetic control. And then the third law is called the law of precipitation. And these are connected, by the way, to those three that I told you just to kind of put aside. They really go together. They're kind of breakdowns of each other. When there is a thought, birthed, when that thought is birthed, there is also set up, when that thought is ignited, let's say will over mental substance, we said a magnetic field. First, according to the law of polarity, magnetic field is created. Second, will held for any length of time over mental substance begins to create an intention. When there is a thought, when that thought is built up through that intention or that intended focus, there's also set up what they call a triangle, wherein that thought is then birthed into time and space through a directing of that energy through certain centers, as I said before. Okay? Thought can then manifest in time and space. So all those who seek to, as we are learning, master their own matter, regardless, and this is the work again of the magician, regardless of whether we talked last month about white magic versus black magic. So regardless of whether whichever one is, all of these use the same tool, the same skill. Okay, these three laws are well known to both sides, both types. It is said biblically that man is created in God's image, or the image of the one life. This is a truth. We are created in that image, meaning the image of the divine, meaning that we are given the same birthright, the same gifts, the same talent as the one life, or God. We all have the ability to create. We all are gods in the making. We all have been given the gift of being creative. The difference between creating willy-nilly, anything, good or bad, without consciousness, is understanding these laws and making a decision as to what path one wants to take, what kind of life one wants to live. We have the choice to remain ignorant, for lack of another word. We have the choice to remain children and basically think that our lives are based on fate. And our experiences that come to us are unpredictable, rather than stepping into a new realm which is offered to us through these teachings. And humanity in general is being called to step into this new realm, to realize that we have choice and we can be causative to the experiences around us. Many are already causative to the experiences that we are having, that the world is having. But when we look at the world, we have to ask, are we happy with what it is we see? Or do we want to step into a realm where we, who know and see and envision a better life, can create the change that's necessary? Collectively, with like-minded people who understand the tools that have always been here for us. And finally, we're able to learn them. We've evolved enough to become aware. We are entering a new school, a new level of education, where we have to unlearn socialization and now begin to become causative in our world. Unlearn that which has not been working for so many, for so long. Unlearn from, in every system, regardless, be it education, be it religion, be it economics, finance, science. Even science is evolving. Everything is moving. And we're moving fast. So we too are creators. Consciousness creates on mental levels and thus learns to control its own fate. So here's an example. A woman who has been experiencing for a long time, obviously, long meaning chronic arthritis, but who has begun studying this body of information that we're now opening our eyes to, the spiritual path, its laws, its edicts, its disciplines. And she realizes, as we have been talking about today, okay, I'm experiencing and have been experiencing chronic arthritis. Where did this come from? Somehow, based on this information that I'm just sharing with you, she realizes she must have created through her thoughts this illness, this state of her health. And she decides, okay, I can be causative to my environment. I can be causative to my emotional nature and my physical nature and my mental. I can be causative to my etheric field. Let me change my thoughts. Let me, instead of, I don't know what I did, her thought, I may not understand what kinds of thoughts I created that manifest in this way of chronic arthritis. But let me see if I can institute intention, a new thought, optimum health, supreme health, abundant health, and vitality. So she sets about doing this. The moment that thought enters her mind, comes doubt. And for most of us, that's where we would stop. Doubt hits us, how are you going to do that? Most of us would stop right there and go no further. Someone who is, say, religious and really devoutly religious may go a bit further and say, think. My faith in the divine, my faith in God will get me through. And they will move a little bit further beyond that doubt. I need not doubt. I only need believe in the power of my mind to change my health and the power of the divine to work in tandem with me. Then there are those who would think, once the doubt arose, oh, okay, I saw that. I'm going to take it on. I'm going to prove this truth to be real. And they would take it as a challenge. They wouldn't run from it. They wouldn't allow doubt to win. Okay? They would embrace the doubt and say, be that as it may, let's go. Boom. Optimum health, abundant health. Which is what this woman did. She took on the teachings, she took on the laws, and she applied them fastidiously, relentlessly, unceasingly, and turned her health around. And by doing such, she was able to experience not only the power of the divine transcendent, but the power of the divine immanent within. Okay? She was able to recognize that the gift of creativity is each and every one of our birthrights. She became stronger, healthier, not only mentally, but emotionally and physically. And with that, because I know this example applies to most of us, there's always some physical manifestation of some mental or emotional debility within our thinking, or a stance that we're taking on an emotional level. So again, we said, if we want to see and understand what's going on in our world, take a look at what's happening. And when we can actually take a moment to observe with neutrality, just observe, then we're able to see, to go behind the manifestation to find the cause. Takes time to learn that, but we will begin to approach this understanding through these teachings over the next few weeks, okay? And with that, let's take a moment to do a brief meditation. Take a deep breath. And as you release it, relax the physical body. Ask the nervous system to relax the physical body, knowing that it will obey. Feet flat on the floor, feeling your sits bones. An erect spine. Tongue laying gently on the roof of the mouth. Physical relaxation. chin tucked. Take another deep breath. And as you release it, allow the emotional or astral body to become calm and serene. Take a moment to lift up out of the emotional or astral body. Lift above. And sense your connectedness to the group. Take a third deep breath. Become mentally alert and awake. And move your focus of awareness 3 inches beyond the forehead into the ajna center. Seeing the ajna center as a pyramid, a golden pyramid beyond the brow, 3 to 6 inches outside of the head. We connect here with the etheric body of humanity. And sounding a silent Om, aspire to soul. And peering from that ajna center along a line of light into the center of the head. See that small, bright, golden sun, and allow your awareness to move from the ajna along that line of light that connects the ajna to that golden sun, also known as the heart and mind, or the cave. Identify as the group of world servers soul focused, and aspiring to assist humanity. As a group, connect with the head center, about 3 inches above the head. Also known as the crown chakra. And know that in this space, you stand beneath the overshadowing soul. That aspect of your higher self. In the place of the masters of the wisdom, who guide and protect us. The ashram, the hierarchy. And looking back downward, see again that bright golden sun, and move your awareness into that part of mind. As you sound the seed thought, I intend optimum health and healing. For my being. And my environment. And allow the note and frequency of that seed thought to ring. And let go of the words. Let go of the sentence and simply follow the sound of that seed thought. Follow it as far as you can hear it, and when you hear it no longer, know that it is still there and stay focused upon it. No need to repeat the sentence to try to hold on to something. We're learning and training our minds to connect with the invisible worlds and to trust the unseen. That which we cannot touch, hear, or see, feel, but sense that it's there. Nevertheless, and you may begin to feel a bit of pressure or heaviness within that heart of mind or cave, as it's also known, where the bright golden sun is, where you maintain your awareness. You do not leave that space. And if you begin to feel that preponderance of weight, pressure in that area, just become aware of it. And again, from that bright golden sun, the cave, the heart of mind, look out to the Ajna center. Follow that line of light that connects the two. And before you leave the cave or the heart of mind, sound a silent Om. And move your awareness from the cave or heart of mind out, back out to the Ajna center. And then from the Ajna, move your awareness to your throat center. 3 inches behind the throat. outside of the body, in the back of the body. Sounding a silent Om. Move back into the throat itself, back up through, and back out to the ajna, through the head, back out to the ajna center. And then back in. From the throat, move down to the throat and then down into the heart center. Again, 3 inches outside of the back. At that point between where the shoulder blades meet is the heart center. And then move back in, straight up through the throat, up through the head, and back out to the ajna. And sound a Om. And as you sound this Om, send the energies out to humanity, or first to your environment, friends and family. To your home and environment, and then out to all of humanity that is in some sort of distress and discomfort. Give thanks to the group that you've been working with, the unseen group. But nevertheless, a very real group. And then take a deep breath. And as you release it, relax your focus and relax the attention and return to normal focus. I thank all of you for this moment. I thank all of you for your time. I hope this meditation has been a help to you. And I hope that this lesson will have some bearing on your life, some application. Until next month, be well, stay strong. It's good to be with you always. Take good care. Farewell.